No allegation. I worked for Mark. He was a good businessman. But when I came and asked if I could run under him with my own truck, he did not want to do it. Then got fired because I did not agree. And Rob, I don't remember that. I don't remember that. What I remember, and I dropped the link, what I remember is Bob from Select Express calling and said, look, Rob is trying to run, but we're not going to let him do it because he works for you. And we got a non-compete. They did it anyway. All right. They did it anyway. After the district manager for Select Express already called and gave me the heads up of what was going on. He already blew the whistle. Same thing that happened with Dynamics. And Rob know what I'm talking about with Dynamics. You know what I'm saying? With the other person. Roslyn called from Dynamics and blew the whistle on what was going on over. No, I'm sorry. Not Roslyn. Angelo blew the whistle. So already, each time it was about to happen to me with this non-compete stuff, I already knew what was happening. I already knew it was coming. Dynamics, I wasn't G'ing for that because that was too much money. I was losing money with Select. So when Bob called me and told me what was happening, but they wasn't going to let him do it, the very next week they did it anyway. I just let it go because I was losing money with him anyway. I wanted to quit the contract anyway. Rob, I don't remember you calling, asking, could you run under my authority? Now, I could be wrong because that was years ago. I don't remember what year that was. That might have been 2015, 2014, 2015, 2016. I don't remember. What I remember is Bob calling me saying you was trying to run and they was going to give you the contract and kick me to the curb because Mike Cohen didn't like paying me because I would always negotiate higher rates because you and I know both that Select Express don't pay shit. And then Rob, your thing with that, the second part is the Henry situation. But you can come on the live, we could talk about it all. That, you know what I'm saying? All right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Let me sit back. I'm gonna sit back.
Hold on.
You know.
Rob.
Mark, what's up, brother?
Man, how you feeling?
I can't complain, Mark. One day at a time, getting older.
You look good.
Yeah, don't feel it.
How'd you find out I was a YouTube sensation?
Man, I've been watching you and following you, dog.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
You know, if I ever need to learn anything, you know, first of all, let me get something clarified. The statement I made might have came off wrong. Okay. You's a very good businessman, and I learned a lot from you. I'm not a very educated man, but I learned a lot from you. Now, me and you always didn't see eye to eye. Doesn't mean I didn't like you. I just didn't agree with the way you would present yourself sometimes to us. But once I took my position, I understood why you did the things you did. Because you had a bunch of grown ass men wanting to act like a bunch of kids. And that shit wasn't cutting it. And I could understand you being pissed off a lot, especially when these idiots would go out and fuck up a $3,000 couch. And then the chargeback come back. Now, you never really passed the chargebacks down to us.
Not all the time.
You know, you ate, well, for as many chargebacks that came back, I count on one hand that I know of that you might have told a motherfucker he had to pay for some shit because they were just being downright ignorant. You know, for the most part, you know, I felt that you kind of took them all on the chin yourself and didn't share that, you know, kept it away from us, which was a good thing, you know, because a lot of these guys would have quit as soon as you would have told them, hey, you got to pay for that $2,000 West Elm couch, that $3,000 bed frame, you know. I went through them situations, and by the time I got done weeding out individuals, it came down to the situation where I figured it out. If you want something done right, you got to do it yourself. I went from when I came to you, Mark, and I told you I was in a position to go grab a truck. Can I
Mm-hmm.
run up under you and
Mm-hmm.
just fuck with you? Because even though you was rude and rough, which is understandable, and I didn't see it until I did my own thing. Okay. So when I came to you and I told you we were sitting right there in the office, you was behind your desk and I was sitting on that little bitty ass couch. And I told you,
Mm-hmm.
hey Mark, I go get a truck and run on you. This was the same time, old boy that was doing the deliveries for Office Depot and shit out there in the little warehouse hub. I forgot the name of that company.
Dynamics.
And Dynamics. And he just jumped up and went and did some shit on his own. And
Q.
I thought that was I thought that was kind of bogus. But at the same token,
Mm-hmm.
I needed to do more for my family than the position I was in.
Mm-hmm.
And I came to you, and I know you remember this, Mark. I tell you, hey, Mark, man, if I grab a truck, what's the split? You could
What
have
I say?
came in here and told me 60-40, and I would have been happy with that. You could have just gave me my own little workload, and I would have went and got my own little helper and paid him. You know what I'm saying? But you
Mm-hmm.
was telling me, man, there ain't no meat on the bone. That was your famous line. Come on, Mark.
And you saw it
Nah,
wasn't no meat on the bone once you went and did it.
well, no, hang on now, Mark. There was a lot of meat on the bone because after dealing with Select for the first month, and dealing with Mr. Sanchez, it got to the point where they sent me over like 20, 30 jobs because at that point, after a month, I went from one truck to 6 trucks. And what I did was I hired everybody that lived on my block. I went
I
knocking
remember
on
that.
people's doors. This way I
I,
didn't have to worry about a motherfucker not showing up for work. This way I didn't have to worry about a motherfucker being late. And
mm-hmm.
once I did that, I was up to 6 trucks. And they would give me, they would tell me, all right, for these 6 jobs, we're going to give you 500. And I'd explain to them, that's not enough to run. And then I was able to bump that 500 up to 800. So every
Mm-hmm.
time they send me work, they send me to work along with a quote of how much they were going to pay me.
Right.
And I'd call Sanchez and I renegotiate the price.
Mm-hmm. So my Amory, right?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. So what happened?
just got too old for that shit, Mark. The last job I did for them, I moved a sleeper sofa from West Elm that weighed 300 fucking pounds. That, remember the little Mexican that Henry brought through? David?
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. His
the
goofy
kid.
ass was working for me. Right. He was working for me. So him and one of my buddies named Fred, which was a pretty big motherfucker, they take a 300 fucking pound couch up the back fucking stairs when they could have took it up the front stairs because the fucking front stairs were damn near 8 feet wide. So, but this was David running the truck. They got it all dirty. I ended up having to shell out $2,500 for this fucking couch. And then on top of that, I had to go back to the lady's house, carry that son of a bitch 3 floors down, and carry the new one 3 floors up.
Mm-hmm.
And that was it. I fucked up a lower disc in my back, and I'm like, I ain't doing this shit no more. And I can't depend on people to handle expensive equipment. Now, if it was something coming out of Bill Direct,
Mm-hmm.
which was like some tile or shit like that, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I left it alone. I wasn't gonna beat my body up. I'm 54 now. I wasn't gonna make it a situation where I was in my motherfucking 70s and ain't gonna be able to move. Have someone,
Mm-hmm.
taking care of me. Plus,
Mm-hmm.
at the same token, I felt that I wasn't in the
Mm-hmm.
field. Good.
that your phone ringing? Yeah.
Call. But yeah, man, I never said you was a bad business dude. You was good. We didn't agree on a lot of things, Mark. But at the end of the day, you know, you wanted to start.
No, I appreciate that. Like I said, I didn't have any qualms with
I'm in the front talking to Mark.
I didn't have any qualms with you. I depended on you for a lot of stuff. You know that. You know what I'm saying? I just felt like you being who you
Hey, Mark,
were.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
hang up. Mark, hang up. Mark, hang up. I'm gonna hang up and call you back because the volume dropped for some reason.
All right.
Give me 1 second.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah,
my wife was calling me on the other line and fucked up the audio. But
yeah.
yeah, all bullshit aside, I've been watching all your little YouTube, the wise men and shit, and you giving out knowledge, and you doing it in a way that I've watched a lot of different videos, not just yours, other people's. And other people, they, oh man, sign up with me and I'll charge you this much and, you can get it cracking type shit.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, look, I'm going to hang up one more time because this phone's going dead. And I'm going to hit you
Okay.
from this other phone real quick, brother.
All right.
I'll be right back at you.
Yeah.
All
Yo.
right, Mark. Sorry about that. I had to swap out phones.
No, it's
The
all
other
good.
phone went dead. But
Yeah.
yeah, the way you spreading the word and shit, you know, I wish, honestly, Mark, that you would have did this with me when I came to you. You know what I'm saying? One thing that I do have, no matter who the fuck I work for, I got loyalty. And no matter how mad you might have made me, you know what I'm saying? I went out there, I didn't fly up and down the street hitting every pothole with your truck. I didn't do no extra stupid shit, you know what I'm saying? I went out there and I did what you was paying me to do. And
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate you saying that, I was one of your top 3.
No, you were. And I knew we didn't. I don't know. Like, see my whole thing with you, Rob, is the way I looked at you at that point when you were there. One, you were older than a lot of the. Not everybody. It was people that your age, but you were older.
Me and Henry were the oldest you had.
Right, you and Henry. All right. You were a lot more knowledgeable on a lot of different things as far as being mechanically inclined. You know what I'm saying? So I leaned on you a lot, and I think I compensated you. You know.
Oh, you paid me well. You paid me
Okay.
fair.
Okay. So
One thing, if I felt I was underpaid, we would have definitely sat down and had a conversation. But we ain't never have a conversation about money.
right.
The only
Nah.
conversation we ever had was I was just trying to figure out how to get to the next level. That
Right.
was it.
So I think where I think me and you, well, from what I saw was, I thought you could have been. I looked at you more to be more of a leader, and that's why I think you was letting me down. You were, but I needed you to be more of a leader. You know what I'm saying? And
You know what though, Mark? One thing I learned from being this old, closed mouth don't get fed. If you would have pulled me to the side and put that in my head, then that would have been my total mission for you.
you
And I
see,
would have showed you that it could have been done.
I
And I would
felt
have did it.
like I looked at you like how I looked at Dre and how I looked at Stack. You being who you are, plus where you come from in the street, I felt like automatically off GP, you should have just been already doing it. You see what I'm saying? Like I felt like with you being the oldest and the most wise, you already know how I schedule my trucks out.
Right.
You were around, I think, at my peak. How many trucks did I have? Like 13 or 14 when you was around, something like that? Probably more. I don't know. I don't remember when the
You
time
had
period you were around.
yeah, you had about 13. And I felt bad when they stole damn near 6 Catalina converters and you had to go get them bitches replaced.
Right. So at that point when you were around, I was damn near at my peak or just getting to my peak. So I would be running around like a chicken with my head cut off. You know, my brother
Yeah.
over there doing operations, Genesis handling all the paperwork. I'm in the office, Select calling me, Dynamics calling me, this company calling me, that company calling me. I'm dealing with all the bullshit from the moves, Headley, Dre, Tyler, all these people. I don't want to work with this person. I don't want to work with that person. So I felt like sometimes you would get caught up in the bullshit, the truck bullshit, I used to call it. And I felt like you were one of the people that shouldn't have got caught up in the truck bullshit. You was an OG. And this was when the shorties respected the OGs. And you come from where you come from. I ain't gonna talk that type of business online. So you already had the respect coming through the door. I just wanted you, I felt like you should have been more of a leader than I felt like sometimes you would fraternize with some people that you shouldn't have been fraternizing with. You know? So, you know, and that's what I feel. I felt like you should have been more of a leader, you know. And I'm not saying you weren't a leader. That's not what I'm saying. But I look for you to do more direction. Like then it was like something with you and Tyler that happened. I don't remember, man. It was just a lot of stuff. I'm trying to figure out where exactly me and you went wrong. But the thing is, I trusted you.
I think what it was is I think when I think you and Henry fell out.
Yeah, me and Henry fell out.
Yeah, when you and Henry fell out, you know, I kind of took that kind of personal
You did.
because yeah, the reason I took it personal was because like when me and Henry would go on moves, you know, Henry was older than me and
Mm-hmm.
Henry would bust his ass. And like
Henry's.
for the
Mm-hmm.
fallout that you and him had, it was unwarranted. You know what I'm saying? That's how I felt anyway. I didn't know the exact reason why y'all fell out because when Henry tried to explain it, I wasn't trying to hear it. You know what I'm saying? And I just told Henry, like, man, bro, I'm like, you know, Mark pisses everybody off. I'm like, you just gotta let that shit roll off your fucking back. But Henry was taking it to a whole nother level with Dave and that other little Mexican that worked there. I can't think of his name offhand.
Mm-hmm.
And Henry was trying to make it seem like it was a black Mexican thing. And you know I ain't racist. And
Mm-hmm.
I kept telling Henry, hey bro, it ain't that. But Henry didn't want to hear it. And then when Henry left, I was upset because when it came to go doing these moves, the only other people I had basically to work with was some goofy motherfuckers like Tyler. And then the other goofy motherfucker, the slow Mexican that Henry bring.
Yeah, Tyler got killed two summers ago. So
What?
yeah, they killed him on a hundred, and I think he got set up. But yeah, he got set up. But yeah, he did. They killed him 2 years ago. But
That's fucked
yeah,
up.
yeah. But the situation with Henry was over a floor. All right, Henry, no matter how good he was, he's not exempt from the rules. You
Right.
know,
That's
and
understandable.
Henry, you know, my best mover, the hardest mover probably I ever had, one of the top ones, you know what I'm saying, you know, that never made mistakes, eventually he made a mistake. So just because you never make a mistake doesn't mean, you know, I covered, like you said it, I covered a lot of losses. I can't cover them all.
You
I
covered a
covered
gang of them, dog.
I cover the losses that I know y'all can't cover. So the little losses and the little mistakes that people made from being careless, I'm not covering them. Henry had to pay. So Henry decided that he wanted to exit knowing he had a claim for $600. So I'm the house. You can't beat the house. You're not going to exit without paying the claim. So on his last check.
I didn't know that.
Okay, well, I'm telling you.
I knew he had a claim. You know what I'm saying? But I assumed, all bullshit aside, I assumed like you covered it,
No, I ain't cover
because
it.
like I said, every time I looked up, you was bitching about a claim, but at the end of the day, you always covered it. I'm not saying that was something that you had to do. You didn't have to cover claim one. You know what I'm saying? And if that's the case, for $600, Henry should have just been like, okay, cool, I got bills to pay. Can you hit me 200 here, 200 there, and 200 there? And I know you would have worked with him.
I just gave
You
Henry a
weren't an
raise.
asshole, but like I said, until I got in play, then shit started making sense. Shit started making sense of why you were short fused. Because like when David was working for me, he thought because me and him was Mexican and everybody else that worked for me was black, that this motherfucker could show up 8:30 when everybody's supposed to been at the house at 8 o'clock to get their work and keep it moving. Hey, how y'all doing? So I confronted him a couple times, and then last time I confronted him, I got hit with the "Oh, Papa, you know how we get down." Oh, okay, you're fired. Give me your
Yeah.
route. I'll get dressed and I'll go out here and do it my damn self.
And see, David, he was always late for me too. But and that's why when I was talking about the Mexican stuff earlier, and I mean, we talking Chicago politics now. You know what I'm saying? When I had all those Mexicans working for me at that time, I already knew what their plan was. You know what I'm saying? So when I talk on the channel, I'm speaking from experience. You see what I'm saying? None of those Mexicans that came from Golan's that worked for me at that time, except the only Mexicans that I think were genuine at that time period were you and Henry. Henry let his son get in his ear. Because when Henry was finna leave and I took his check, now I didn't take the whole check. I took what the floor cost me. The floor cost me $600. His check happened to be, because he worked a short week because he was leaving, his check was $610. So I gave him his check. Now, I guess he caught feelings because when he got out to the car and opened it up, it was only $10. So it was like I was shitting on him, but I wasn't. I just gave him what the balance was.
Fair enough.
He didn't say shit when he was in the parking lot. He wasn't going to come in that office. He waited till he pulled off the lot, called his son. They called up there with all that Latin King shit. And I said, "Don't bring your ass up here."
He did what?
Man, come on, man. You know his son.
I didn't know.
Listen.
I didn't know none of that. Because if that would have crossed my ears, I would have put a stop to that shit in the door.
Well, you already know his son Simon was a hothead. If I deducted money from his father and him being a son, young and hothead, he called up there. Henry had already called to cuss me out. Okay, whoop-de-doo. I already knew that was going to happen. You see what I'm saying? But then when his son called up there talking all that Lion King shit, we up there, we like, well, all right, well, we here. We ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? So
right, it ain't like you can pack up and move.
Like, we ain't running. You coming over here. So if you gonna come on. So that's where it went far at. He called up there talking crazy and nothing obviously never materialized from it. But that's what happened with Henry. He had a claim. And he tried to exit without paying. He got the claim. Now he's leaving. So I had to take the money because that was the opportunity. I had to take it. Otherwise, I would have took it on a, week by week, little at a time. So I had to take it all one lump sum. You know what I'm saying? And that's why he was mad. So, and then I remember you calling, and it is you was upset, but man, it's business at the end of the day. It's business. It's not personal. Henry
Right.
was a good worker.
Like I said, once I got and played with Select Express, I seen what the bullshit you were going through. I really did. And it gave me a different outlook on you. I never disliked you. I didn't like your attitude, but then I understood where your attitude came from. Basically at the end of the day, you had a good crew, but there was a shitload of misfits in the bunch. And it just take one apple to ruin a bunch.
So at the time you was there, how many people was there? Like 30 people, you would say? 25 maybe? 20, 25?
It might have been like maybe 30 because
Okay.
by the time I got there, half of them had already left out for dynamics because they had to be in at 4 in the morning.
Right. So all those trucks be gone. So that's 9
Right.
people right there.
And then
So
when I came in, it was a damn near a group of about 10 to 15 because it was like usually 3 people to a truck on the
right,
moving side.
right. So dealing with all these people, and the people who's dealing. I'm dealing with people from different gangs, different people that don't want to work with certain people having certain issues. I'm dealing with people that got mental instabilities, bipolarism, and all this type of shit. Like, you think I'm supposed to come in there every day, all hunky dory?
Right, but
Why you
you,
think Stack? Why you think Stack was there?
I don't know. I never did understood what that big motherfucker did.
Okay, so Stack was there. The whole purpose of me having Stack come there is to enforce law so that I could focus on the business because I got tired of dealing with the bullshit. So Stack was there to enforce. Listen, I'm dealing with Latin Kings, Vice Lords, Folk Corner Hustlers, Blackstones, Gangster Disciples, all street guys that don't understand business. And I'm trying to run a business, instill business practices in these people, and all these people got problems amongst each other. So am I going to run a business or I'm going to play mediator to all these bullshit scenarios that will go on every single day? So Stack was there to enforce law so I could take care of business. Because every day it was some bullshit. I got people smoking weed on the truck. Man, why the truck smell like weed? You know what I'm saying? So, like, I don't have time.
I remember
Exactly.
that day.
Dumps and shit. All right, so I'm dealing with straight nigga shit. And I'm trying to run a business.
And majority of your customers were all white.
90% of them white. So now I got to deal with BS and still try to run a business. So no, you know what? Stack. And when Stack came in, he wasn't trying to hear nothing. But that's why he was there. So I could focus on running the business. So I'm glad you here. So now everybody can hear what it takes to run a business, especially dealing with the people that I've employed, my own people. I got to hire a goddamn enforcer to enforce law so I could run a business.
Hell yeah, because when I started working for you, weren't you something like 28 or some shit, 26?
I don't know what year you came, but I started when I was 29, 30. Probably by the time you came, I probably was like 33, 34 at that time.
Okay. Yeah, because I remember me and you sat down and we was talking about your business, and I think that was the year you racked out like damn near a mil.
Yeah. That year, 2014, I hit my first million.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was doing about 90,000 a month that year. Yeah, 90,000 a month. What I was grossing that year. Yeah, I hit my first million in 2014. So, but yeah, right. I'm glad you're here. I appreciate everything you did. You know what I'm saying? So, like, you was always a good worker. I don't remember, and I'm not saying it didn't happen, but I was a lot younger then. I've always stood on business as far as being a shrewd businessman. But if I did say that to you, then I apologize. You know what I'm saying? But since you said it was, if you said it was right after Q, it probably that's.
Brother. You truly don't, because you know what? You gave me the opportunity because I've listened to your other video, and when Q went and jumped up, grabbed his truck, and just thought he was gonna work for Dynamics.
Mm-hmm.
When I stopped working for you, I stood my ass at home for 4 months, honoring that no clause competition shit. I did not know when I answered an ad in the paper that I was actually calling Select. I didn't find out till I got to the Hilton Gardens Hotel out in Schaumburg.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they told me who they was, I told them who I was. And they put me on pause for about 45 days before they put me in play. And I don't know if it was because I believe the no cause competition contract was for 6 months, I believe.
It was for a year.
It was for a year.
I didn't pursue it with you. Bob had already called me and told me what was going on.
Okay.
So I already knew it. The reason why I didn't pursue it with you is because it didn't affect my bottom line. You know that I was losing money every time we ran Select. I was losing money. I was making so much money with
Dynamics was the piggy bank.
Dynamics and moving. So Dynamics and moving, those two streams for the business that's where the money was coming from. You see what I'm saying? I'm running 3 trucks for IKEA, 9 trucks for Office Depot, and on any given day, depending on what time of the year it was, 3 trucks for moving. Those moving trucks is netting me, after paying everybody, anywhere from $900 to $1,000 a day each truck.
Right.
I was making $300 gross per Office Depot truck. That's $2,700. I was taking the 30. That's another $900. So every day we was netting about $4,000 to $5,000 once you add in everything else. So I wasn't really tripping on no money. The reason why I didn't trip on Select Express is because it didn't affect my bottom line. I was operating that at a loss. I had Tyler running that, doing Container Store for $11 a stop. I was paying him $10 a stop, and we was keeping $1, and we was losing that in fuel. God rest his soul. And he was doing about 10, 12 stops a day, so he was making $120. And the Container Store deliveries wasn't shit. He was delivering sneaker boxes and shelves. That wasn't shit. That was one man. He was doing that in the van. And then I had another truck doing the other little West Elm and Container Store and all that shit. You see what I'm saying? So I wasn't really tripping. So when Bob called me and told me what was going on, I just didn't mention it because I wanted to see how it played out because I had already went through it with Q. Right. But then when I thought about it and I talked to my brother, and he was like, well, man, you said you've been wanting to get rid of the shit anyway. Let Rob have that.
I appreciate that.
So you need to thank my brother. And I didn't pursue it because we wasn't making no money. Right. I see the trucks parked. I was going right on 75th and Low to the shop to get my locks twisted up every other Wednesday. So I would see you outside. I would see, like, I already knew I wasn't tripping. If I wanted to trip, I could have tripped. And I wouldn't have said nothing to you. I would have went straight to them. I'd have called Mike. Like, Mike, you know what you're doing? Some bullshit. How you want to handle this? They wanted to come from under me anyway because even though I was losing, they was paying me more than what they was paying because they knew how I operate. They knew what I mean, Louis Escobar had came out to Chicago. He was like, damn, all this is you. Like my infrastructure, my business, you gotta think. I got office staff. I got an office. I got other ancillary bills outside of what's going on in trucking to make everything go. Right? So my cost, you can't pay me what they pay an independent contract. They had to pay me more. And eventually they wanted to come in. So by them peeling away my best guy for Bye Bye Baby, they could just get rid of me altogether. You see what I'm saying? But because I wasn't really making no money, I didn't trip, Rob. And Montel said, let you have it. So I let you have it.
Man, I appreciate it. I ran it for about a good 4 years, and then I threw in the towel. I got too old and too tired for this shit. You know, this shit does take a wear on your body.
Yeah, it do. It do. But I'm glad we was able to chop it up and figure it out. I don't I don't I got nothing but respect for you. You know what I'm saying?
But
Like,
I had nothing but loyalty for you, Mark. I really did. You might not have thought it, but it was there. And honestly, I would have preferred to ran up under you than anybody else.
yeah, things happen for a reason, and maybe it just wasn't meant to be at that time. Like I said, I probably had a sour taste in my mouth from that Q situation. I run into Q every time I run into him. He always apologized for that situation. He admitted to what he did was wrong.
We see, it would have been different if he would have went and did that on his own. But he wanted to go do that and then take some of your guys.
Yeah, he took 2 or 3 guys.
And I didn't agree with that part.
Yeah, it was bogus.
When he mentioned it to me, I looked at him and I'm like, bro, Mark can't even get me to go do Office Depot. I bitch and I moan about it. And I'm like, because, you kept telling me, like, man, I got to put you in that rotation at least one day out the week. And I was like, all right, fuck it. If I only got to do it once, I only do it once. But because he took, what was that young kid's name?
He took Deshaun. He tried to take Angelo. He tried to take Angelo, but Angelo the one who blew the whistle. That's how I knew it was coming. Angelo told my brother. My brother told me. See, Angelo, he'll talk to me, but everybody went and told all this shit to my brother. You know what I'm saying? That's because
everybody was kind of intimidated by you and shit. And like I said, now I know why. Back then I used to think like, man, this dude just woke up on the wrong side of the bed every fucking morning. But now I see why. And half the shit that came out your mouth and half the shit you did, I look at it now and like, shit, I don't blame him. I would have did the same fucking thing.
Yeah. But he told my brother, so I already knew it was coming, and we was prepared. And when they did it, I just linked on Chris Alvarez at Dynamics, and he didn't like me anyway, because I had to cuss him out a few times, and they stopped him, and that's when he came to the office with the whole, man, I want to drive nice cars, and I want to live in nice places like you. I want to date pretty girls like you, and all that stuff. And I'm just like, whoa, what, it was just bogus how he did. Like, I didn't know he solicited you. He tried to clean me out. So
he tried to grab like a lot of people, and that like I said, that was the issue that I had, with that whole situation. Like, because when he first mentioned it to me, I told him, well, go do you. I'm like, go do you, brother. Good luck. That's all I could tell you. I'm like, every Tuesday I come in this motherfucker, guess what? Genesis hands me a motherfucking paycheck. I'm like, so I'm content,
Yeah.
And then, like I said, I done hit a lick or two and came up on some bread. where I was
Mm-hmm.
getting ready to go get a box truck. That's when I
Right.
came to you.
Yeah, I'm like you probably I'm not saying you didn't. You probably did. But you know that situation with Q probably had a sour taste in my mouth. So you talking about under authority and all that stuff at that time? That was just a very hard situation because I never did nothing to Q. As far as that account, he was my top guy over there. He allowed them to solicit him for money there, but like you said, the way he went, like now you telling me he tried to come get you. So basically, he wanted to clean me out. You see what I'm saying? And I don't understand why, but it's a good learning lesson when I was telling people earlier when I was arguing with the Jamaican, you know what I'm saying, about why non-compete clauses is important because even if you treat somebody right and you pay them well, at the end of the day, people want what you have and you have to protect it. You know what I'm saying? So when your situation came along, I probably just had a sour taste in my mouth. You know what I'm saying? Um, and I just
It was
didn't,
probably
you
just
know,
bad timing.
huh?
I said it was just bad timing. That's all.
Yeah, it probably was bad time, but ultimately it worked out. You know, I didn't when it happened. I didn't cause a fuss. I just let you have it. My brother said, let him have it. You've been saying you wanted to come up under it anyway. It's a loss. We paying to run this contract. You know what I'm saying? We paying to run this contract. So just let him have it. And that's why
You
I
know,
let you have it.
at one point, I remember you telling me that you was actually taking money from Dynamics that you was making on the profit to cover the back end on the Select
Yeah.
Express contract.
Yeah. Listen, that dynamics money and the moving money. Everything else was profit, all except Select Express. Like Dynamics, listen, Dynamics was paying me $500 Monday through Friday per route,
Per
$600 per
truck.
route Saturday and Sunday per truck. I'm running 3 trucks. Then we started running 3 in the morning, 3 in the evening, 5 to 9s. And you remember them 5 to 9s would only be one stop per truck. They still paying me
Right.
$500. I would pay my guys 75 for the helper, 100 for the driver, 175, and I was clearing the difference on each truck times three plus 900 plus $300 per truck for the Office Depot runs, and that was 9 trucks, so that was another 2,700 plus the moving money, which was directly to consumer at whatever I was charging when you was working at that time. What, $110 an hour? You know what I'm saying? Plus
You
the truck
charging
fee.
$75 for 2 guys,
Okay.
and I think it was like one and a quarter for 3.
Right. Right. And then I'm clearing another $900,000 a day per each moving truck. So I wasn't really tripping because the move and the dynamics was just covering everything. The money was like it just didn't matter no more. Like I wouldn't even like money when and I ain't saying this to brag. You was there. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it just was what it was, you know what I'm saying? But it's all good, Rob. You know, I appreciate you for tuning in and you know, I you know, it's good to see you doing good, and you know, I always respected you. You was one of the best workers as far as assembly, mechanically inclined. You was the best. Wasn't nobody colder than you when it came to assembly work, putting shit together. You know, that's why I always leaned on you for. You know, bye bye baby and stuff like that. So like, you know, you was the best at it. You was number one. So, you know, I wish we could have ended amicably. You know, I don't even remember how we ended. I just remember you left. I know we ran into each other at Francis's a couple years ago. Uh,
Yeah.
but I don't, that time period was that time period. You know, I know I probably made mistakes. I didn't have the best attitude, but like you said, you know why? I had to rule with an iron fist.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? I had to rule with an iron fist because, Rob, let's be honest. Look at the people that worked for me at that time.
I feel you, dog. I really do.
I literally had to have an enforcer there. Then I got Aaron drunk. You know what I'm
All the
saying?
time.
So,
Every day.
I got People smoking weed, trying to figure out who's smoking weed. Don't nobody want to tell. Drake tearing off roofs off the truck.
That
KT
other young
was
motherfucker that tore the gate down.
right. I had a person tear the gate down, ran into the gate. I think he fell asleep behind the wheel, pulling out the yard, tears the gate down, had to pay for that. So man, like, it's like every day, like, yeah, more money, more problems. Yes, a lot of money made. But look at the problems that come along with it. So I'm not coming into the office hunky dory. I got ones that don't know how to count. I had a guy, Mike, miscounting his own check, calling me, threatening me, talking about he gonna do this and that. So I got to tool up to come to my own office because of the type of people I'm dealing with, and explain to him, hey, do math. He can't count for him to realize that, damn, I did pay him right. This is the type of shit I have to deal with, dealing with my people. So, of course, I'm not going to have the best attitude every day. Of course, I got to stand on business and be a jerk and be an asshole and rule with an iron fist, because I'm dealing with street niggas. Who else going to do moving at that time?
On the real.
And home delivery. Everybody there that had an X or more.
You hired me, I had 3.
All right. So, I had to stand on business, and ultimately over time, I just wore it. I wore it. And, now looking back on it, you know what I'm saying? I don't regret anything I did. I don't regret how I carried myself at that time. I'm a lot nicer person now.
Yeah, I seen that. You laid back now.
Yeah, because, those days of building and getting to the bag and doing what I'm supposed to do with the bag so I can chill out now. You don't want to go through what I had to go through to secure the bag. Then I couldn't do that now. I don't have the patience now. It took a lot of patience back then to deal with a lot of the stuff I had to deal with. You know what I'm saying? Imagine coming in to the yard and the whole damn gate tore off. Because this dude pulled up to the gate and probably fell asleep pulling out the gate. No, he didn't do that. He pulled up to the gate and he got out to put the code in, and he didn't put the truck in park. See, you said goofy shit. Goofy shit. Now I'm spending $1,000 because it's an electronic gate on a motor. Think I had to get the motor fixed. And John taxed me for that. So yeah, you saw it once you got out there on your own. Every day it was something. So that's why I was like that. I apologize, if I I don't think I offended you, you know what I'm saying? But if the relationship, because of how I carried myself, it wasn't a healthy relationship because of that, then at this point in my life, I want to say I apologize. But
it's all good, brother. Ain't no apology needed. Like I said, then at that particular time, I used to think, damn, this motherfucker wake up on the wrong side every motherfucking day. He's just evil. But after I started my shit, shit started like, oh, this is why this motherfucker act like that, because you got motherfuckers acting like this.
Yeah,
so
shit ain't no joke.
Your attitude became justified once I got on with Select, and once I moved from 1 truck to 6 trucks, that, and dealing with 12 different bodies with 12 different personalities. It was like every time they came in, everybody was on their period. And I'm like, oh, this is bullshit. And my old lady used to tell me, because back then, I was still younger. I used to tell motherfuckers, we go in the backyard and settle this real quick.
Mm-hmm.
And motherfuckers used to look at me like, what? I'm like, we go in the yard and we can boss up real quick on this shit because I'm not going to argue with you. You either going to get your ass on the truck and go do what the fuck you got to do and bring my truck back in one piece, or you can go home and shit. You ain't got to go to work. And you'll get your motherfucking check at the end of the week like everybody else. And
Mm-hmm.
my old lady had to point out, like, man, do you see how you talking to these motherfuckers? I'm like, hell yeah. And then that's when it hit me. Shit, I'm acting like Mark. And now I understand why. Dealing with grown men that, you know, I'd come to work, me and my old lady fight just before I get to work. I didn't bring that
Mm-hmm.
shit in the yard. I left that shit
Mm-hmm.
where it stopped at, my front door.
Right.
But a lot of people didn't know how to do that. You know?
You know what the biggest issue though? I think a lot of I had, I'm gonna keep it funny. You probably saw it too when you got out there on your own.
I
The
mean,
people.
don't mean to go off on me. I gotta go.
All
I
right,
gotta.
QB. I appreciate you.
Oh, thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for tuning in. Yeah, I gotta go though. Appreciate all the conversation. Like y'all told me something just when y'all talking and listening just now. I just learned a lot just there, so I appreciate y'all for that too.
I appreciate you. I'm gonna switch you over to hold on, Rob. All right, you out here, QB. I'm gonna DM you, QB.
All right.
Appreciate you for tuning in.
All right.
All right. Hold on, Rob. What was I? What was I saying? I lost my train of thought. What was I saying?
In regards to what I just got done telling you, like how I used to snap on motherfuckers, and I realized why you did what you was doing.
Oh yeah. So the biggest issue was a lot of people counting my pockets. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So when you talk about like
yeah,
that
you
first
know,
million, you see what I'm saying? And like even you knew, I never told you, but you saw the invoices. You see what I'm saying? So people knew the money. You see what I'm saying? And I remember Hadley told me we was going back and forth. He's like, man, we making you rich. This is the type of stuff I had to go through. People counting my pockets. A lot of the issues that happen are from people counting pockets. The whole situation with Q was because pocket counting.
yeah, because motherfuckers used to hate the Beamer on the real.
Which
Motherfuckers,
one? The gray
you
one or the
know,
white one?
I only seen the white one.
Okay, yeah, the white one. I had a gray 750, but why would they hate it? I worked for it.
Right, and because I had asked Montel one day, like, how your brother get started? He's like, he had an avalanche and used to do shit in the back of his motherfucking pickup
Yeah,
and saved his money and got him a box truck. I'm like, no shit. I'm like, oh, so he is self-made. Brother was
yeah,
like, hell yeah. But them other motherfuckers, I don't know how much they knew about you. And the only reason I knew that about you is because I asked your brother Montel one day when you sent him to work with me and shit.
right.
He got on the truck. When he got on the truck, I guess he thought I was gonna be one of these motherfuckers with like an attitude. And I ain't had no attitude against you. You drove a Beamer, shit, that was your motherfucking choice. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? If you work for it, shit, you should be able to buy whatever the hell you want to buy with the money that you done put blood, sweat, and tears into. Whether it's a
mm,
motherfucking business owner, because one thing people fail to realize, to get to that level, you had to grind it out yourself first. And nobody realized that. Everybody just think like, bam, this man just popped up as a boss man. It don't work
oh,
like that.
nah.
Motherfuckers don't, motherfuckers, their famous line was like, shit, I like to see his ass out here doing this. And I look at him and I tell him, what do you think? He just won the lottery and said he gonna start this up. I'm like, he started with a motherfucking pickup truck, doing motherfucking deliveries out of his motherfucking avalanche. They're
Yeah,
like, how the fuck you know? I'm like, it don't matter how I know. I'm telling you how my man got started. I'm like, y'all motherfuckers want to trip about the wrong things. And like you said, it gets to a situation where motherfuckers are haters and they do want to count your pocket.
yeah. It's just
And
pocket counting.
unfortunately, unfortunately, it was a lot of that
Yeah, it
between
was
a
a
lot
lot
of
of it.
different people that worked up there.
Yeah, it was a lot of that. You know what I'm saying? And that's where it all. That's where a lot of it derived from. And if I could go back to those days, there's a lot of things that I would do uh different. A lot of the stuff I wouldn't change, but that's ultimately why I have the mindset that I have now about like businesses that I start now. I try to start business that have very minimal to no employees. Like I've done with employees. Like I don't want to deal with employees no more. You know what I'm saying? Because I've dealt with employees. I've dealt with a lot of employees, and I dealt with employees that society turned their back to. You know what I'm saying? I took them in, uh, and
Shit, I was one of them. It was hard as
yeah,
hell for me to try to cop a job with three X's and shit on the
yeah,
real. Because
yeah.
my cousin Brandon's the one who came to you and got you to give me a shot.
Brandon.
Yeah, he used to work for John.
Oh, Brandon. Yeah, he had the braids.
Right. He the
Yeah,
one that came
yeah.
to you and talked to you
Yeah,
about
yeah, I
me.
remember. I remember Brandon came and talked to me. Yeah, and I pulled you in.
It should be open.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I remember Brandon came and talked to me. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
but
sure
shit,
remember.
prior to that, motherfucker was sitting on the motherfucking couch selling weed because motherfucker
Hmm.
didn't want to hire me because of my motherfucking felonies.
Yeah,
You gave me a shot.
yeah,
You know?
yeah.
So now what I've been doing, I just been out here doing Lyft and Uber. You
Mhm,
know, I grind out Lyft for 12 hours and then I'll do Uber for like another 3 hours on top of that.
mhm,
So I'm content, 2,500 a week.
mhm,
You know, if I get out here early, lately I've been bullshitting, so I only been pulling in 15. But
mhm,
my goal for the year is to give
mhm.
me nice luxury car. You know, I've been passing out my phone number to people. You know, like man, you know, you're in Chicago for business. Next time you come in, call me. I'll be your personal chauffeur. So, you know, to get a chauffeur's license, that the insurance is 9 grand a year, and they do
Mhm.
an extensive background. So with my felonies, I know that ain't gonna happen. So I'm kind of like, you know, a private hire chauffeur, so to say.
I was just talking with a partner of mine about starting a black car brokerage. Probably buying two black cars, but not really focusing on the actual car aspect of it. Rather just brokering the jobs out to contractors because that's ultimately decrease the liability. Don't have to ask those vehicles sitting around and just be the middleman and direct it. But I was going to get two, at least one, to go out there and see how it operates, so I know how to run it on the back end. So your
Well, if you
numbers, your numbers still the same, right? Your number the
no,
same
I
because
got two different numbers. I'll DM you with those numbers.
yeah, DM me your numbers on Instagram because that's something that I'm seriously looking into doing on the as far as the company and getting the contracts. We got the Democratic National Convention next year.
Right.
And what I'm looking at as far as black car service here in this market is thriving because we got the largest convention center in the country. So with the conventions we got the DNC next year, and just the conventions alone, the opportunity is there. That's why I was thinking about doing it. So maybe we can, maybe this is fate. Maybe we can maybe sit down, maybe
Well,
meet at
I'll tell
coffee
you one
and.
thing. When I worked for you and you put me on your insurance went down because of my driving record. Ain't shit
Mhm,
changed. I ain't got no moving violations still, knock on wood. You know?
mhm,
So I'm damn near like 30 years with no moving violations.
mhm.
So I know
Yes.
for a fact insurance rates should, be be decent. Because I remember you were telling me like, damn, I put you on insurance on the truck. My insurance, dropped down $1,000 because of that shit. I was
Mm-hmm.
like, oh shit, cool.
Yeah, yeah, I remember it went down.
I got the
Yeah,
white shirts and the black ties and the Stacy's and the vest. And I know how to be presentable and professional.
yeah, yeah. It's something me and Adi was talking about partnering and starting that up. But we probably do get one or two trucks just to have two, but ultimately brokering it out. So send me your information. Maybe we can meet for at a Starbucks or something one day, and I'll just pick your brain, see where you at, and if we do that, maybe we can bring you in on it. And
All right, my brother. I'm gonna
you know,
shoot you my numbers.
yeah, you on Instagram, right? You know where I'm at on Instagram, right?
Uh-uh.
Mark underscore the underscore mentor underscore.
Okay.
So make sure
I'll
you hit
find
me
you.
now, cause
I'll hit you. If I don't hit you there, I'll hit you here to ask you to send me that info. But
all right,
I'm
bet.
gonna get in tune with you. But Mark,
All
I
right,
want to I truly, I mean this from the bottom of my heart. I want to thank you because at the end of the day, I did learn a lot from you because I paid attention. And if half them motherfuckers would have paid attention, you know, they'd probably be in better places than where the fuck they is standing right now. And I know that for a fact.
you see a
You
lot of
know.
those guys that was around during the time period you was there. Cause the only
Now,
person that's still only person still
I
around now is like you don't remember Chancey. He's still around, which was Tyler's best friend. Tim, he's still around. But you don't see nobody from the old period when you was there?
nope.
No? Yeah, but yeah,
You know,
you're
like,
right. They all messed up when I be running into them. They all
you
messed
know,
up. So
when I fall back, I fall back. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
And it's like I make myself scarce. I don't need to be out there. I don't need any motherfucker talking about remember when. Nah, motherfucker, remember when's over with. That's called history. I'm trying
Mm.
to figure out the future.
Right, right. Yeah, it's all good, man. I appreciate you, Rob. It's all good. Ain't nothing but
All right,
love.
my brother, nothing but love. Tell Montel I said what's up.
I'll let them know.
All right, I'm gonna hit you up.
All right, bet.
Peace.